Regardless of your skill level, by the end of this video, you're going to be able to dominate online with the best defenses in both college football and Madden 25. Don't just take my word for it, because these defenses are being used by top pro players and can shut down even the toughest opponents. Now, throughout this video, I will be alternating between college football and Madden 25. But no matter the game I break the tip down in, you can be sure it will work in both games, as I heavily tested them. And I highly recommend you stick around for the entire video, because many of these defenses can be found in the same playbooks, so you can use more than one at a time. Kicking things off, we have a defense that's a go-to for pro player Astro, who dominated in the last MCS tournament and is currently #1 ranked on the most feared competitive ladders. The name of this defense is 3-4 odd, and the play he calls is pinch buck 0, which allows you to send some of the most ferocious blitzes in both Madden and college football 25. This blitz is remarkably easy to set up. You're just going to call the play with auto flip off, and then what you're going to do is hover between the right guard and the right tackle. And if they send 5 out, you're going to get 2 people in completely clean at the quarterback instantly. It was so fast, you might have even missed it. So I'm going to go to instant replay to show you what I mean. So what you're going to see is that you're going to get the attention of the right guard, and then the left outside linebacker and right outside linebacker will come in completely clean. Now, if they block their running back, you're actually going to see you're still going to be able to get this blitz in. As long as you sit in the B gap, you're going to be able to get someone on the right of screen in the exact same way. And then, of course, your next question would be, if they block 7, does this come in? And the answer is actually no. So if they block 7 people, the blitz will get picked up. And that's something that you necessarily don't want. So if you do notice your opponent is blocking 7, the way that pro players counter this technique is by sending less people. So they'll actually send 4 people. So in this case, you're gonna hard flat both outside linebackers, just like so. It doesn't matter the adjustment you put on the field. I like to hard flat if you're gonna run a lot of man coverage. And you're gonna see that if they max protect, your left middle linebacker is going to get a one-on-one with the running back. So let's make sure everything's set up. Block the running back, and you're going to see that he's going to get that one-on-one, and that's a lot of the time going to push the pocket back, and he's going to get a shed later in the play. So the quarterback will have to keep stepping back, and a lot of the time he won't be able to make a read, because basically we're playing shed defense at that point. So if they send 5 out, blitz. If they block the running back, blitz. If they max protect, only send the interior 4. And that's how you can run 3-4 odd, pinch buck 0, just like the pros. This next defense comes from Jonbeast, who just took home the MCS Kickoff Classic title. The name of this defense is nickel double A gap, or 3-3 double mug in CFB, and the play he calls is mid blitz. Now, this defense allows you to send some crazy disengaged screamers in CFB and Madden. To set this defense up, all you're going to do is crash down by pressing left on the D-pad and down on the right stick. It's going to look something like this. And as long as you hover right over the center, they pretty much can't block this. You're going to see when they 5 out, you're going to get 3 people in a lot of the time. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 1. And then if they decide they want to block their running back, so in this case I'll block my running back, this blitz is still going to come in completely clean. Now, the best part of this blitz, my favorite part, is you can actually send 4 people, only the 4 interior guys, and zone out your 2 defensive ends or linebackers. To do this, you're gonna get on the linebacker icons. We're pressing right on the D-pad twice, and then what you're going to do is put them in zones after clicking their icon. It doesn't matter what zone, you just click on their icon, put them in a zone. You could really adjust in any way. I like to put them in hard flats, just like how I did it in 3-4 odd, and how you could play coverage in 4-3, even 6-1. And what you're going to see is when you run with just the 4 interior guys, you can still get this blitz in. And this is why it's one of the best blitzes in the game, because you could send 6 and guarantee pressure, and a lot of the time you could send only 4 people and also get some fantastic interior pressure off of some disengaged heat. So that's the nickel double A gap mid blitz that you can use both in CFB and in Madden the exact same way. Now, before I show this next meta defense, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks, the simplest, easiest, and most exciting real money fantasy game on the market. To play, all you have to do is pick the sport, the stat category, then select your players and decide whether they will do more or less than their PrizePicks projection. Then add at least 2 to 6 players to your lineup, and the more players you add, the more money you can make. And there's no better time to sign up, because with code SWOLO, you will get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 plus in lineups, win or lose. This next defense is run by pro player Fancy, who used it to dominate and win the MCS Kickoff Challenge. The name of this defense is Dime 3-2 or 2-3 odd in CFB, where he primarily calls FS Zone Blitz. And this play allows you to send some insane A-gap heat. To run this defense, you must first make sure your auto flip is off and your alignment is set to base. To set this up exactly like Fancy, you're first going to come out in the play double safety go, and you're going to make sure FS Zone Blitz is in your audibles. So then we're going to call double safety go, and then we're going to audible to FS Zone Blitz. The reason we do this is because it creates better run defense by having the safeties in the box, and it allows you to switch stick to these safeties because they're often very close to the receivers. The only adjustment you want to make after audibling is to put the free safety, the left side safety, in a hook curl. To do this, we're just going to double tap triangle, then we're just going to select the defensive back icon and down on the left stick. And the final defense looks something like this. And what you're going to notice is that as long as they're on the right hash, you're going to get that A-gapper to come in every single time. And since it only works on the right hash, you're going to need another blitz for the left hash. So if they are on the left side of the field, there's a different blitz I recommend you use. You're still going to come out in double safety go just like this, but instead of audibling to FS Zone Blitz, you're going to audible to the play Edge Blitz 3. It looks something like this. Now, you don't need to really make any major adjustments unless you want to, but when you do run this play, you're going to get your defensive end or one of the slot corners or even the linebacker coming in clean every time. Now, I'll run it one more time just for you to see how effective this blitz actually is. You're going to see, once again, we got our defensive end in there, which is extremely fast. So those are the 2 blitzes you can use dependent on what hash your opponent is on in the Dime 3-2 formation, just like the pros. The next defense was created and founded by pro player Millz, who uses it to scream at his opponents every single down. The name of this defense is 4-3 even 6-1, and the play he primarily calls is Sam Will Blitz, which allows you to send some crazy send 6 heat. To run this defense, it's really easy. All you're actually going to do is shift your defensive line towards the tight end in whatever formation you're playing against, and then crash your defensive line towards the tight end, just like so. Then what you're gonna do is hover opposite where you shifted in between the, in this case, the left defensive end and the left defensive tackle, but this could obviously be the right if you shifted to the left. So the best way to put this here is you're hovering opposite where you shifted between the defensive end and the defensive tackle. And what you're gonna notice is that, of course, if they 5 out, you're gonna get 2 people in completely clean. And then if they don't 5 out, let's say they block a running back, you're also going to get 1 to 2 people in completely clean. Now, this is a very basic defense. I highly recommend you adjust as you please. My favorite adjustments to make pretty much every time I'm blitzing against pretty much any formation is I like to hard flat my outside corner on the strong side of the field. In this case, that's the 3 receiver side, and then deep half the safety on the strong side of the field. This will prevent them from throwing any flat routes before the blitz comes in, and once you scream at them, they're not going to be able to throw anything deep. So that's the best way to run 4-3 even 6-1, both in Madden and CFB. If you watched through this far, you're serious about getting better at college football or Madden 25, so you should definitely check out the insane amount of exclusive content on victoryformation.gg. We have over 80 game-changing videos and 2 elite defensive game plans that best use all the concepts shown in this video. And for 1 more week, if you use code SWOLO at checkout, you can take an additional 20% off your first month. The last defense has been made competitively viable every year by Madden, one of the best Madden minds there is. The name of this defense is Big Nickel over G, where he will run a lot of cover 4 quarters in Tampa 3. And these plays allow you to create some stellar coverage shells leading to easy interceptions. To run the Tampa 3 version of this defense, you're going to call cover 2 or Tampa 2 in the play call menu. Then what you're going to do is put your slot cornerback in an outside third. You're going to put your slot cornerback side safety in a middle third, and then you can even leave the deep half opposite slot corner safety, so in this case it's the free safety, or you can put the free safety in an outside third. And this will create a Tampa 3 defense. Now there's lots of reasons why this is effective, but the main one is it's fantastic at stopping corner routes, both deep and short. So if they were to run a deep corner route to the right, you're going to see there's an outside third completely blanketing it. And a normal cover 3 would do that as well. But the problem is a normal cover 3 wouldn't guard a stem down corner route. So you're going to see I have a stem down corner route on my circle receiver now. But when we run this Tampa 3 defense, it's going to be bracketed extremely well. So when we run it like this, you're going to see there's going to be an outside cloud flat able to cover the stemmed down corner route. So the main reason you may run this Tampa 3 is it does a great job at stopping pretty much every version of a corner route, and it's also great at stopping crossing routes. Now this brings us to our next defense, which is cover 4 quarters. And we're going to first break it down in how to stop 3 receiver sets like bunch, where there's 3 receivers on one side of the field, and then we're going to break it down in tight. So cover 4 quarters is a very good defense on its own, but if you play any opponent that knows what they're doing, you're going to get scored on very easily. So for example, if they were to run a combo like this, where they just put a streak on the circle receiver, you're going to see that receiver is oftentimes going to be wide open for a 1-play score every single time. And that's a super basic combo lots of players use, even if they don't know what they're doing. And then if they run something like verticals, the match coverage will play really well on the main receivers, but it'll leave the running back wide open for oftentimes a huge gain. So if it doesn't stop the 2 most popular route combos that we might play, why would we even run this, is what you might say. Well, we actually have only 2 adjustments that we need to make to stop them from running these main route combos, and you don't really have to worry about any of the other route combos after you make these adjustments. So the first one is you want to man up the free safety, or the short side safety in this case, to the middle receiver on the strong side of the field. Then what you want to do is put your defensive lineman on the strong side of the field in a hard flat, just like so. So the final defense looks something like this. It looks complex, but it only took us 2 adjustments. And what you're going to see is that if we run this same combo with the deep corner and the streak, not only is the corner bagged, but so is the streak, and everything else on the field is matched. And then of course, if they run the next most popular type of route combo in verticals, you're going to see it's going to get covered as well. We're just going to put the hard flat on our defensive lineman, set up everything the exact same way, and you're going to see that everything on the field is bagged. Now right there, I didn't actually man up the point man. I actually made a quick little mistake. Let's do it one more time. You're going to see that when you man up R1 with this safety and hard flat the defensive end on the right side of the field, that if they run verticals, it's going to get covered completely. You're going to see everything gets matched, and they pretty much have nothing open. Now, you're probably going to say, okay, now that you've covered the 2 most popular combos, how does it do versus other route combos? And my answer to you is fantastic, right? Because if they run a combo, let's say like this is actually a pretty common combo that you'll see online, where they have a deep post, a drag, and an in route, all going to one side of the field. Well, we know that the post is going to be cross-manned, and then everything else is going to be matched. And as long as we have a disciplined enough user, you're going to be able to cover pretty much everything on the field. So in general, I highly recommend you run this version of cover 4 quarters whenever you are playing a bunch style set, or a 3 receiver set to one side of the field. Big shout out to Zan. He really came up with lots of these concepts years ago, and they still hold true to this day. Now, tight players will really struggle to beat cover 4 quarters exactly how it is. So to set it up versus tight, I actually leave it completely stocked. And what you're going to see is that if they run any route combo, let's say it looks like this, where they're trying to attack both corners, which lots of tight players like to do, you're going to see it's going to be bagged. They can't throw either corner route, and they're going to end up taking a sack. Now, they don't have too many choices for trying to beat this. They could try something like this, which is another staple in a tight player's arsenal. But what you're going to see is that match coverage actually plays this extremely well. As long as you go and play the drag with your user, everything on the field will be covered. So if you want to run cover 4 quarters versus tight offenses, you can leave it completely stock. And this also happens to go for trips tight end style alignments. It's pretty much run it completely default and you will not struggle. Now, if you're looking for some more tips to get even better at defense in general, you should definitely check out the video on screen right now.